We got a video about a lawyer who may or may not have punched a court security officer.
The real hero of this is Rob Maloney and his giant hands. The giant manly hands of Rob Maloney. You're going to love it. And here we go with lawyer arrested for courtroom brawl.
Needs a lawyer of his own tonight. That's after getting into a brawl with a Roseville police officer in court. Najib Mahena and the officer exchanged words Wednesday, and it just escalated from
Ray,
there.
you ever fought a cop in court?
This story for us tonight, and
Not
what
often.
happened during a court proceeding is just pretty incredible.
It's never for me.
Well, it actually happened just after that, and of course, the
That's
courtroom is the
spicy.
last place you'd expect to see
Look at those meat
fisticuffs,
claws.
and yet that's exactly what happened here. The question becomes, what was it that surrounded the fists flying, and where does it go from here?
It's a good question.
Why is that the question?
Looking quite scruffy, and certainly not the button-down attorney,
Scruffy.
Najib Mahena appeared
He looks
as a
exactly like he did in the
in
photo
jail.
before.
He allegedly started swinging inside Judge Marco Santia's Roseville courtroom yesterday. Roseville Police Chief James Berlin says
There would have
Mahena
been
worked a
all kinds
drug
of witnesses,
case that
right?
wasn't going his
Clerks,
way. And when the
bailiffs.
judge left the bench, Mahena wanted to speak with you.
And apparently the attorney wasn't happy with
Here we go.
the
Statement by the
outcomes.
police.
And he was trying to get back into a restricted area of the courtroom where the judge was because he wanted to talk to the judge again. And in his haste to get in there, he pushed one of our officers.
Mahena allegedly pushed Officer Mitch Berlin.
This
Chief
sounds like a
Berlin's
very
brother,
one-sided
and
account.
The officer didn't move out of his way. He just wound up and slugged him in the mouth. And then he just started throwing blows until he was restrained and kicked into the
Started
floor.
pushing and beating up a
Mahena
cop.
stood mute before Judge Joseph Bedecker in 2 charges of striking a police officer, resisting and
I'm
obstructing,
betting he's not
which could
popular
net him a couple
with
of
the
years
police.
in jail if convicted, and assault. Mahena has practiced law for 15 years and reportedly took exception to Officer Berlin's assertion to another drug defendant that he or she didn't have to speak with Mahena. His
Oh.
attorney is Philip Thomas.
I believe it's going to be a he said situation. There's going to be a lot of different people saying
a sweet
different
goat.
things. It shouldn't have happened.
You like the Nagaheim?
These are adults. These are lawyers.
He just said it
police
shouldn't have
officers. So it's very
rewind
unfortunate.
it?
It's very sad that it
No.
happened, and
Just-
we're going to work our way
It's very
through it.
sad that it happened.
That's not exactly
Mahena is going
the
to be
my
held
client
upon,
is
or
innocent
actually has
statement
the
I was
opportunity
expecting.
for it.
How did you feel about the story that was relayed by the head of security?
that wasn't the head of security. That was the brother of the cop who was involved in the.
Well, I think he's the head of the security too. I think that's his brother.
Oh, yeah. It seemed a little bit one-sided. I doubt.
He pushed by, and when the officer didn't move, he said, "I'm just going to punch him in the face." I don't think that's what happened. I think he got pushed back, and then
I think there's another side to this story
Yeah,
that we're not hearing.
I think there might be another side to this.
Do you think
story.
maybe it's more likely that lawyer was in there, that they don't like him there, that he was doing whatever he did, that the judge went off the bench, maybe said something to him, he wanted to get him back to talk to the judge, and then this guy's running interference. Which might be his job.
There was something else that they said. The police officer told somebody else that they.
I wasn't going to get to the part about the law enforcement giving out legal advice yet.
Okay, so what part do you want to get to?
I mean,
now.
Arguably, that could be like obstruction.
Well, we have situations where we're on a trial. Out in the hallway, there'll be a witness for the state, and we'll want to talk with the witness for the state. When we talk to the witness for the state, sometimes the state's attorney will say, "You don't have to talk to them." And I guess in this case, the bailiff or court security said, "You don't have to talk to this guy."
I'm not sure that's his role. I don't, but you hear the statement from the police, and I'll point this out a million times and I'll do it again. It's ridiculous that they can say whatever they want. They're not bound by the same rules the rest of us are. They can put out press releases, they can talk about whatever evidence they want, and then they can be like, oh, well, he's presumed not guilty, right? So that guy
Right.
tells a completely one-sided story, calculated to get his face on TV and poison this jury pool against this guy.
How are defense attorneys constrained with respect
By
to
the ethical rules.
No, I know, but which ones? What can a defense attorney say?
Well, okay, so that's where it gets kind of troubling. Is that cop makes that statement? And I don't know if the defense attorney knew about it or not. It's likely these cameras, and it's nice to see cameras at a courthouse, you know, in a more developed state than Illinois. But that defense attorney, according to Illinois law, can say what he wants if it's to not true things to combat publicity that's already out there. He can't say things calculated to sort of garner favor or publicity for his client, but he can say things if there's already a bunch of publicity going against him. And that attorney's statements were a little soft. I mean, Ray, look, you're in court, you're representing a guy who just got in this trouble. What's your statement? Like, forget the guy who got arrested. What's your statement to the TV camera? Somebody sticks a TV camera in your face and says, hey, the cop says your guy just did this. What's your take on it?
It's the state's burden to prove the case. They have not proved it yet, and my client is not guilty.
There's 1,000 things you could say. There's more to this story.
Right.
They don't have a witness that corroborates what they're saying. I mean, you can come up with all kinds of stuff that makes it sound like you're going to fight for your client. Instead, like, you know, you put some wax
So
in the
he's saying,
handlebar
I'm going
mustache.
to lay down gently for my client. I'm going to lay down.
But, and I'm not being critical of the attorney because obviously the defense attorney who got arrested knows who he's going to, right? Maybe he went to that guy on purpose because that guy's not going to throw gas on the fire.
Right, and sometimes the best move is cutting some sort of deal that's advantageous to the client. He keeps his license, he doesn't go to jail.
For sure, in which case maybe I'm opting to make no public statement.
Right. So what have we learned? Don't punch court security officers, allegedly.
I think what we learned is ultimately when you're about to lose your cool in court, maybe walk out the public entrance out the back and just calm down a little bit and come back. We've all done that.
That's true.
All right, hang on.